Big thanks to Quincy and the whole research team
Absolutely.
for all the work they do to bring you this show.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Canada News Summaries.
Yes.
Episode 3.
3.
I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
And I'm here with Jane.
Hey.
Ready to dig into the latest political happenings up north.
Sounds good.
And hey,
Yeah.
if you enjoy what you hear today,
Okay.
do us a favor and hit that follow button
Right.
and tell a friend about the show.
Okay.
All right, Jane,
Yeah.
let's get right to it.
Let's do it.
The holiday season might be winding down,
Yeah.
but the political scene in Canada is just heating up.
Yeah, for sure.
The big story that's jumped out from the research
Okay.
is that the Liberal Party seems to be teetering on the edge
Yeah.
of a full-blown crisis.
It's a critical moment for them.
Yeah.
Public opinion has taken a nosedive.
Right.
And Prime Minister Trudeau is feeling the heat.
You can see the connection between
Totally.
the recent drama surrounding Freeland's resignation
Yeah.
and the dip in the polls.
Right.
People are looking for stability.
Exactly.
And right now,
Yeah.
the Liberals aren't projecting that.
Nope.
Yeah, that whole Freeland situation
Oh, yeah.
really threw a wrench into things.
It did.
Felt like a sign
Mm-hmm.
that things were unraveling behind the scenes.
Totally.
And the numbers back that up.
They do.
Trudeau's approval rating
Okay.
is sitting at a dismal
Oh, wow.
22%.
That's rough.
That's not just a dip.
Right.
That's a plunge.
The plunge for sure.
And the Angus Reid Institute poll
Uh-huh.
puts Liberal support at a historic low
Oh, my.
of 16%.
Wow.
To put that in perspective,
Yeah.
that's even worse than they're showing in the 2011 election,
Right.
which was already a pretty rough year for them.
It was a bad year.
Wow, that's pretty damning.
It is.
So while the Liberals are scrambling,
Okay.
it looks like the Conservatives,
Yeah.
under Pierre Poilievre, are poised to seize the moment.
I think so.
They're currently polling at a healthy 45%.
That's a big jump.
Do you think this is more about Poilievre's leadership
I don't know.
or just a reflection of the Liberals' failings?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
While the Conservatives are definitely capitalizing
Right.
on the Liberals' woes,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say Poilievre has experienced some massive
Right.
surge in personal popularity.
Okay.
I think a lot of Canadians are just looking for an alternative.
Yeah.
And right now,
Right.
the Conservatives are the most obvious one.
It makes you wonder if they're actually
Yeah.
winning over new voters with their platform
Uh-huh.
or if it's more of a
Yeah.
anyone but the Liberals situation.
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
There's definitely a segment of the population that's disillusioned with the Liberals
Right.
and is ready for a change,
Okay.
regardless of who's leading the charge.
Right.
But the Conservatives are also
Yeah.
making strategic moves
Mm-hmm.
to attract voters,
Right.
particularly those who are feeling the pinch of the economy.
So with the Liberals struggling,
Yeah.
you'd think the NDP might be seeing
You'd think.
a boost in support,
Right.
but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, not really.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But they're kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah, they are.
The NDP,
Okay.
under Jagmeet Singh,
Right.
is hovering around 21% support,
Okay.
which isn't exactly a wave of momentum.
It's not great.
And just like Trudeau,
Uh-huh.
Singh is also facing
Oh,
declining approval ratings.
that's interesting.
It's almost as if the public is so disenchanted
Yeah.
with the Liberals
Yeah.
that they're not even considering other options.
Right.
Like the NDP,
Okay.
they've just gone straight to the other side of the
vape
spectrum.
swung. The pendulum is swung.
Like the political pendulum has swung hard to the right,
Right.
bypassing the NDP altogether.
Right.
It raises an interesting
Mhm.
question. Can the NDP carve out a distinct identity
Yeah.
in this polarized landscape?
Good question.
Or are they destined to be overshadowed
Yeah.
by the Liberal-Conservative showdown?
I don't know.
Maybe this turmoil will force them to reevaluate their strategies
Right.
and figure out how to connect with voters
Right.
in a more meaningful way.
It's an opportunity.
It's certainly an opportunity for them to step up
Right.
and articulate a vision
Yeah.
that resonates with Canadians
Definitely.
who are looking for something different
Yeah.
from both the Liberals and the Conservatives.
Absolutely.
It's clear that Canadians are hungry for change.
For sure.
The polls show that a whopping 46%
Wow.
believe Trudeau should just step down
Yeah.
and let someone else take the reins.
That's a lot.
And another 38%
Okay.
think he should go even further
Oh, wow.
and call a snap election.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's a significant portion
It seems like it.
of the electorate
Uh-huh.
that's ready for a new direction. Even within the Liberal Party itself,
Right.
There is a growing sense that change is needed.
Yeah, I can see that.
A poll revealed that 59% of Liberal supporters
Oh, wow.
actually favor a leadership contest.
That's a lot.
Wow. That's a pretty strong indication.
It is.
That even the party faithful are losing faith in Trudeau's ability to lead them to victory.
I see that.
So what are his options here, Jane?
Well,
What's the most likely scenario going forward?
he's facing a classic dilemma.
Okay.
He can try to tough it out
Right.
and hope things turn around,
Okay.
which is a risky gamble.
Yeah.
He can try to regain control by calling an early election,
Right.
which is a huge roll of the dice.
Okay.
Or he can gracefully bow out
Right.
and let someone else take over.
Okay.
Each path has its own pitfalls
Right.
and potential rewards.
Let's break down each of these options,
Right.
starting with the stay and fight approach.
Okay.
What are the potential consequences?
Yeah.
If Trudeau decides to dig in his heels...
Well, if he chooses to stay, he's basically betting on a political comeback,
Yeah.
hoping he can weather the storm
Right?
and somehow regain the public's trust.
Uh-huh.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
That's a long shot.
Yeah, the odds aren't exactly in his favor.
No, they're not.
And let's not forget,
Yeah.
the opposition is smelling blood in the water.
Right.
The Conservatives and the NDP are more than ready to team up
I bet.
and bring the government down.
Exactly.
The power dynamic has completely shifted.
It has.
Trudeau is no longer calling the shots.
Yeah.
He's reacting to events.
Right.
And with the opposition ready to pounce,
Yeah.
it's not a matter of if the government will fall,
Right.
but when.
Exactly.
Okay, so staying put seems like a
Yeah.
high-risk, low-reward scenario.
Definitely.
What about option 2,
Okay.
calling a snap election? Could that be a strategic move for Trudeau?
It's a gamble.
Right.
And I think a risky one. It's like trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Okay.
An early election could give him a chance
Right.
to reset the narrative
Yeah.
and frame the debate on his own terms, but it could also backfire spectacularly.
Especially considering the current polls.
Oh, yeah.
He could easily end up with an even weaker minority government.
Right.
Or even lose power altogether.
Exactly.
Talk about jumping from the frying pan into the fire.
That's right.
And let's not forget the potential damage to the Liberal Party itself.
Right.
An election loss could trigger a full-blown leadership crisis, splitting the party into warring factions.
For sure.
So option 2,
Okay.
calling an early election,
Right.
seems like you could easily make a bad situation even worse.
It could.
Which leaves us with option 3,
All right.
resignation.
Okay.
What would that mean for the Liberals
Yeah.
and the Canadian political landscape as a whole?
Resignation would definitely send shockwaves
Right.
through the country.
Yeah. It would be a seismic shift in Canadian politics,
Okay.
marking the end of an era.
Right.
It would give the Liberal Party a chance to hit the reset button,
Okay.
to choose a new leader,
Yeah.
and potentially reconnect with voters.
Think of it like a company rebranding
Right.
after a major scandal.
Exactly.
They need a fresh face,
Yeah.
a new message,
Yeah.
a whole new vibe.
Totally.
But finding a successor won't be a walk in the park, right?
Not at all.
No.
Choosing a new leader is never easy.
Right.
There will be internal power struggles.
Okay.
Different factions vying for control.
Yeah.
And immense pressure to find someone who can lead them to victory in the next election.
It'll be fascinating to see who emerges
Yeah.
as the front runner.
For sure.
So, for our listeners who are trying to make sense of all this,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways? What's the big picture here?
The first thing is that Canadian politics is in a state of flux.
The ground is shifting.
Right.
And no one's quite sure what the future holds.
Yeah.
The Liberal Party's grip on power is slipping.
Uh-huh.
And the Conservatives are ready to capitalize on that.
It seems like change is inevitable,
It does.
whether it happens gradually or through a dramatic event, like a snap election or a resignation.
Right.
But it's not just about who's in power.
No.
It's about the direction of the country.
Exactly.
It's about the policies that will be implemented, the priorities that will be set, and the impact those decisions will have on Canadians' lives.
It's important.
This political uncertainty has real-world consequences.
It does.
It affects everything from the economy to healthcare to the environment.
Absolutely.
And it also highlights the fickleness of public opinion.
For sure.
Just a few years ago,
Right.
Trudeau was riding high,
He was.
enjoying immense popularity.
Yeah.
Now he's facing record low approval ratings and calls for his resignation.
It's a reminder.
It's a reminder that in politics, nothing is guaranteed.
That's for sure.
Fortunes can change rapidly. And today's hero can quickly become tomorrow's villain.
Totally.
What I find particularly intriguing is how this instability is affecting the other parties.
Yeah.
Especially the NDP.
They're in a tough spot.
They're not getting the surge in support you'd expect given the Liberal Party's woes.
Yeah, it's weird.
And Jagmeet Singh's approval ratings are also declining.
It's almost like they're caught in a political no man's land.
Right.
Not strong enough to be a clear alternative to the Liberals, but also not benefiting as much as the Conservatives from the anti-liberal sentiment out there.
So the big question for the NDP is, can they find a way to break out of this political gridlock and offer Canadians a genuinely different path?
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge they face.
They need to define their vision clearly, articulate their policies effectively, and connect with voters on a deeper level. It's a tall order, but it's not impossible.
All of these moving pieces make the future of Canadian politics incredibly unpredictable.
Totally.
It's like a giant game of chess.
Yeah.
And each player's trying to anticipate the other's next move.
Exactly.
And the stakes are high.
They are.
The outcome of this political game will shape the future of Canada for years to come.
Absolutely.
It really is a fascinating time to be following Canadian politics.
It is.
And it's not just some abstract political game, right?
Oh, no.
These shifts in power have real-world consequences for everyday Canadians.
Absolutely.
It's about the policies that get implemented. The priorities that are set. It affects things like the economy, healthcare, even the environment.
For sure.
What's at stake here is the direction of the country. So for our listeners out there, what's the one thing they should be taking away from all this? What's the big takeaway?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we're in a period of immense uncertainty. The political landscape is in flux, and the future is far from predictable.
You never know.
Who knows what's around the corner? A snap election, a change in leadership, it's all on the table.
And this uncertainty isn't just limited to the halls of Parliament. It trickles down and affects everyone.
Exactly.
It's important for Canadians to stay informed, to engage in these conversations and make their voices heard.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately the future of Canada is in their hands.
That's such a crucial point. We can't just be passive observers in all of this. We need to be active participants. Asking tough questions, holding our leaders accountable, and demanding better from our elected officials.
So as we head into the new year, we're left with this thought-provoking question. What does all of this mean for the future of Canada?
That is the question.
Will the next election bring a seismic shift in the political landscape?
I don't know.
Or will we see a continuation of these current trends?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, I don't have a crystal ball. But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
It's going to be a fascinating ride.
It certainly will be. And we'll be here to break it all down for you.
Absolutely.
Every step of the way.
We will.
Thanks for tuning in to Canada News Summaries.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into the most important stories shaping the nation.
Sounds good.
Until then, stay curious, engage,
informed,
and keep exploring the ever-changing world of Canadian politics.
See you next week.